Welcome to the Life Together Multiple Avatar Studio tutorial. A quick glance at the control panel and around the studio. These scroll arrow buttons change your avatar's pose by going through the poses inside the studio's contents. You can also add in your own pose animations into the content when you put the studio in edit. You also have movement controls to adjust your avatar on the studio, and you can move it around in the direction you want. These are the backdrops viewing windows. You can SE the textures present the studio has. You can select the backdrop, the floor, or both to texture. You can also add your own full perm textures into the studio's contents if you want more backdrops. You also have quick RGB colors to choose from the RGB dial. There are some emitters you can select for effects. Click once to start and again to stop them. There's also a burst bar to control how many particles are emitted onto the studio. Simply click along the bar for the control. There is smoke particle and rain particles to select. You can adjust the backdrop size to suit a backdrop against the avatar for a photo if the texture seems too big or too small by these buttons. You have security by clicking this icon and observe the chat whisper. It will tell you who can use the studio. If you use Flickr, there's a quick start button to take you to the website. We have a few res buttons. You can res a camera. The camera appears with a pose ball. A photographer can sit on this pose ball, and with the movement control panel, he can move the view of the camera around. This is to save mouse camming, as the view will stay where you left it. The other res button will give you a drop menu. You can select what to res from a menu. You can add your own props by resing a new prop prim and putting your prop on the studio where you want it to get resed and link it on the prop prim. There are instructions on a note card how to do that. You can display from these buttons fire and also a burst effect. Click once to start and again to stop. There is lighting on the studio to turn on lights or off. You can also select a color hue to put onto the avatar and also how much it affects you. You can use the intensity fall off or radius buttons to do that. Putting the environment into midnight mode will likely give you better lighting effects. Simply click on the menu tab for the selections you want to control the light and color. The Option button gives you a drop menu, and you can select how sensitive the movement controls of the avatar are on the studio. Reset button takes you to the default start position on the studio. Now, you can pose more than one avatar, over 20 avatars if you wished. Another avatar right-clicks on the studio and selects Pose. To swap between avatars and to move each one or to change each pose, we use the Next or Previous button to toggle between the posing avatars that are on studio. So the idea is you can choose on an animation and move it around the other posing avatar or avatars. You can design your own poses together with any of the poses in the studio. This is where the movement controls really come into effect, so you can move around the avatar anywhere you would like to. Remember, you can add into the studio also your own pose animations if you want more. Plus, you can also add in your full perm textures to add more backdrops by editing the studio and drag and drop into the contents folder. The studio comes with a HUD. Locate your folder and the HUD, then right-click to add so you can add the HUD to your screen view for easier studio controls. You can hide and show the HUD for when you take a photo shot, so it is out of the way. The HUD has the same controls as the Studio, so you can select what wall you want to texture and what texture you want to select. You can also move them around with the HUD also. And when you are ready, you can take the photo snapshot. RGB dials are also present for you to select, the same way as the Studio's controls. Live Together Photo Studio.